so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to regain his freedom. It doesn't matter what anybody says, what the world said out there. We are going to set him free. You heard it expressly from our Prime Minister that it should be activated. I thank Chukwu for the stage we have reached. Any place you are today as a Biafra, you have to be proud of yourself. And as you're getting proud of yourself, don't get carried away. We are going to win this battle. Undoubtedly, we are going to win this battle. United as Biafrans, we are going to win this battle. That is why it is very essential. Do not allow yourself to be left behind. Do not push yourself away from this struggle. I am not telling you that you must defend the autopolitical IPOB. I'm not telling you that you must follow Mazi Nnamdi. I'm not telling you that you must pass through the direction of the president. If you feel that you have another genuine way, the most important thing is to make sure that that direction you're following is genuine. Make sure that whatever you're saying is genuine. Make sure that whatever strategy you are pushing forward is not for selfish interest. As long as you're genuine, pursuing that which you feel is the best way, go ahead. Go ahead. Chukwu Okokabiyama will lead you. Go ahead. As I said before, it doesn't matter who brings Biafra. What matters to us is that we want Biafra. We want to be free. Our freedom is the only thing that matters to every one of us. It is still dear to our hearts. We want to be free. It doesn't matter through whom the freedom comes. We are not concerned about that. And as for those who are keeping themselves busy with that, that is for them. The Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile has opened the gate wide. He has opened his arms open. And he has given an order for a truce. Today, we are focusing on the real enemy. You and I know who they are. When you look at what is happening in the zoo today, you'll be wondering. If you see the kind of hatred they are pushing against the Igbo Biafrans mainly, you'll be wondering, what crime have the Igbo Biafrans committed? What crime? And today, after they have seen that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the autopolitical IPOB through Mazi Nnamdi have finally been able to open up all the secrets and all the lies they have preached against the citizens for a very long time. When they have seen that we have opened all those cankerworms today, they are running international. They are trying to use the United Nations to blackmail Biafrans. They are planning to use the United Nations to blackmail Biafrans. But let me tell you, it doesn't matter what they do. They can never, ever push us aside. Biafrans can never be deceived anymore. It doesn't matter the angle they will never deceive Biafrans anymore. Today we have a roadmap and we know what we want. And we have made it clear to the whole world. For years, we have been shouting, protesting all over the world, presenting our plights to governments and offices. And finally today, the Biafran government in exile have been activated. Prime Minister of Biafra selected. Every other offices and liaison offices opened across the world. They are getting the message and they know that this time it is not about social media. This is not about social media. They call us miscreants. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was with us here, they called us miscreants. We don't know what we are doing. Called us different kinds of names. But I bet you, none of them can be able to make that statement anymore today. They can't. They cannot push us away today. They have seen what is coming. And that is why you see they are trembling. Every single thing Biafrans are doing today to exit the contraption called Nigeria is hitting them hard. That is why you see, even in a country where there is no war yet, the United Nations is already around. The United Nations already in Nigeria. And when you look at where they position themselves, if you look at where they position them at Benin, that very Benin you saw them has a significance. That place you saw them on Benin has a significance. But let me tell you, they cannot bully us into being part of Nigeria. It doesn't matter how they try. That blackmail they are bringing, we are going to face them head on, and we are going to defeat them. Every challenge that will come across our way, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, the only thing we need is mental toughness. Are they going to attack us? Yes, they will. Are they going to blackmail us? Yes, they will. Are they going to lie against us? Yes, they will. But as long as we do not waver, as long as we do not chicken out, victory is sure. Victory is sure today, much more than ever. I see victory coming. I see victory coming in this very struggle. The only thing we have to do today as Biafran people is to stand up and stand tight. Sit up and sit tight. Don't allow anybody to distract you at this very stage. Do not. Do not listen to any propaganda or blackmail. Do not waste your energy on attacking those who are not your enemy. You and I know who the real enemy is. And when the time comes, we are going to engage them. We will. That is the only angle we are focusing our preparation. We have fought the battle we have to fight online. They preach all their hate and madness. Only some people who are shallow-minded will believe whatever they are telling them. Some of them, when you see them talking, they begin to refer to us as fighting against ourselves, attacking ourselves. There is nothing that is happening in Biafra struggle today that has not happened in other part of the world. There is nothing that is happening in the struggle today that is not that did not happen in other struggles. Betrayals, quarreling, fighting, it happened in every struggle you can think about on the planet Earth. So we are not moved. And even the case of Biafra is unique because we can manage our problem effectively. We are not fighting ourselves, and we cannot fight ourselves to the extent that we forget about the enemy. No. Every single one of us as Biafrans, we know who the real enemy is, and we know who we are up against. And no matter how they pretend, no matter what they do, no matter the angle they come from, we will engage them. Yes, we will. We will engage them and make sure that we subdue them. Are they going to gather? Of course they will gather. They will gather. They will assemble. Already you have seen the assembling. And I tell you, pay attention to that very thing you saw. That movement of the United Nations you saw in Benin. Pay attention. They are cooking something up. Every Biafran must stand at alert. Be at alert at all time. You don't have to sleep. We have slept for a very long time. There's no longer time for sleeping. We have to stay awake. The United Nations envoy you saw at Benin, the leader of that very command, the commander that is leading them, is a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man is leading them. And when you look at the story they told us, that those vehicles are being taken to Sudan, Southern Sudan, and you begin to ask yourself, what have Southern Sudan got to do with Nigeria? Or is it Nigeria that have been supplying the UN cars and whatever to Southern Sudan? What brought that very UN vehicle and more tanks? What brought all those to Nigeria? How did they bring them? And what brought them up to the extent of coming to the Benin to Biafra land? What brought them? How did that happen? It is not a coincidence. It is not. If actually they were going to South Sudan, Libya is there for them. Libya have a sea. Egypt have a sea. These are people that have common boundary with South Sudan. Even Sudan itself has a sea they are using. They have a port. And there is no war in Southern Sudan today that we want such kind of envoy going to Southern Sudan. There's no such. There's no such war going. So if they want to carry any, United Nations want to carry anything to Southern Sudan, the easiest place to go is Sudan itself. Libya is there. Egypt is there. Why did they pass through their closest neighbors? Why are they coming all the way from Nigeria? Far West Africa. Why are they coming to far West Africa? And from where did they bring those tankers that made directed to Nigeria and Nigeria to Southern Sudan? When you look at the story, you begin to wonder. You begin to wonder. You are passing United Nations from Nigeria to Southern Sudan. Meanwhile, Nigeria itself has a heavy crisis in the north. They have a heavy crisis in the north. They are saying nothing about it. They care less about it. But you're passing through Nigeria to go to Southern Sudan. Every one of us have to stay awake. Whatever card they are trying to play, we are going to meet them head on. I say it that the mandate of Biafra, coming of Biafra, is the mandate from Chukwuka. No man can stop it. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or you don't believe it. No man can stop the coming of Biafra. Biafra must come. Whether you support it or don't support it. No, whether you attack it or you don't attack it, Biafra will come. And the time that Biafra has to come is now. That time is matured because the children of Chukwuka have suffered enough. We have suffered a lot. We have paid a grievous price. All in the name of making one Nigeria work. Right from independent, the Biafran people have been paying a heavy price. Mainly the Igbo Biafrans. From independent till date, Igbo Biafran has always been the ones who are fighting to see that they make this so-called Nigeria a place of living. But each time the Igbo Biafrans make move to rescue Nigeria, it comes back to bring death and destruction to them. Each time an Igbo Biafra make a move to rescue Nigeria, it turns out to bring death and destruction to them. And it's not a joke. Go and check from history. From history. Right from Dr. Nnamdi Kanu, from independent. He fought and fought and fought and saw that and tried to see that this so-called one Nigeria stands, and yet they made him a ceremonial president. And that was it. He never get there. He never had any power. Even when that independence was gotten. From there onwards, the hatred and attack continues. Ahmadu Bello begin to see the Biafrans as a threat. And he preached that message of threat to the extent that life of Biafrans become at risk. The Biafrans become endangered in their own nation. It was that same criminality, wickedness that led into the extent when Kaduna Nzogu, Chukwuma Kaduna Nzogu, rose up with some other military officers to conduct a revolution to rescue Nigeria. Chukwuma Nzogu wanted to conduct a revolution, which today they call Igbo coup. It was never an Igbo coup. We saw testimonies from survivors of that very coup. The last man that died recently, every testimony that it was a revolution to rescue Nigeria out of the hand of this caliphate and their evil plans against every indigenous tribe. Kaduna Nzogu Chukwuma made that move to rescue Nigeria. But what happened at last? They called it Igbo coup. Even when they know very well that the people that ended that very coup was still Igbo people. The people that ended the revolution, that made sure it didn't succeed, was still Igbo people. Because they were trying to preserve the so-called one Nigeria. They didn't see what Chukwuma Kaduna Nzogu saw. Our eternal leader, Dim Odubegwu Ojukwu, and Agi Ironsi, they did not see what these people saw. They didn't see what Chukwuma saw. What we are seeing today, Chukwuma saw it that far time, a long time ago. And he wanted to make it right. And his own brothers also stood and made sure that he never succeeded. And in turn, he brought death to the Biafran people. After that very thing, you couldn't believe that a counter coup was conducted in that very contraption. A counter coup. And many Biafran officers were murdered. Innocent people lost their life. Great number of Biafrans lost their life. But today, nobody is talking about that. The head of state who has not committed any crime, Agu Ironsi, what crime did Agu Ironsi commit to Nigeria? But today, Agu Ironsi is forgotten and wiped away from history. Agu Ironsi is not remembered anywhere in Nigeria history. Nigeria never talk about Agu Ironsi. No respect for him whatsoever. Look at Abacha. Abacha that looted the money of the country, committed this several crimes. Abacha is celebrated, and even they named a stadium to his name. They named a stadium to his name. The man that murdered, people that murdered Agu Ironsi, the head of state, they are celebrated. The Murtala Mohammed, they take his name and put his name at the international airport. Up to today, they are celebrating. Another murderer. Another murderer. The man that murdered Agu Ironsi, the head of state of this contraption called Nigeria, a man that wanted to unite the contraption, a man that wanted to build a nation where people will be equal. What crime did Agu Ironsi commit? Agu Ironsi only stopped. He stopped the coup. That's what the crime he committed. That's what the crime Agu Ironsi committed. Agu Ironsi was murdered. And up to today, they are celebrating those that murdered a head of state. They give you a lot of entitlement. They celebrate and they put their name in important places. But that head of state that has not committed crime against anybody, nobody remains about him or talk about him. You cannot see his name anywhere in Nigeria, whatever. He is not celebrated. There is no memory to his name. Agu Ironsi. Because he's an Igbo man. But every time you see that, they are quick to point out the revolution of Chukwuma Nzogu. They are quick to point out the revolution of Chukwuma Nzogu, and they are continuously celebrating those people who were fraudulent, who were taken away because of their fraud that time. All the people that lost their life during that time of Chukwuma Nzogu revolution were the fraudsters, the criminals, those who were pushing this hate speech you are seeing today. They were the people that pushed Nigeria to this hate you are seeing today. Where people cannot unite and begin to talk as one nation. But today, every one of them is being celebrated. They are being celebrated on their different regions. They name stadiums to their name. They put some of their hairs in their money. But the man, Agu Ironsi, a head of state who was murdered, who didn't commit any crime. He never committed any crime. There's no crime they will tell that Agu Ironsi committed. But he was murdered. Today they celebrate those who murdered him. But those who carried on coup, those who took over a democratic government, those that murdered innocent people, they are celebrating them with their name written everywhere. They are being celebrated. And it didn't stop then. Up to today, they are still doing the same thing. When a Biafra man opens mouth and says the word, it becomes an abomination. Every other tribe can say things and get away with it. But a Biafran, mainly the Igbo Biafran, you dare not open up your mouth in that contraption and make your case. Everything you say, they use it against you. Everything you say becomes a taboo. Other people say word and nobody takes it into account. You open your mouth and you say your own, it becomes a taboo. Today, the London boy that we warned, P2B that we warned him about what was coming. Not because we hated him. When we are talking about don't participate in election, do not get involved in it, it is not because we hate P2B. It is not because he did anything to us. But it is because we knew where he was going. We knew that the move he's making will be counterproductive, because we have seen people that made that move in the past. The only thing that move brought was death. And you saw it again in the case of Itobi. Making a move to rescue the Contraband Nigeria. What did he bring? What did he bring to the Biafra people? He brought to the Igbo Biafrans death, hatred, dehumanization, cursing. That is what it brought to us. And even today, his own life is being threatened. His own life is threatened. Even today, he cannot even